Thank you, Your Worship. I'll defer to our planning manager.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Buchan. Through to the mayor. So on July 25th, 2022, councilors approved an interim parking management strategy that characterized and proposed strategies to address parking issues in Prince Rupert's downtown. One of these recommendations was to introduce a parking specified area in Prince Rupert's downtown where new commercial and mixed use developments were exempted from minimum parking requirements. The proposed bylaw enacts these changes. The waiving of these requirements within the parking specified area would mean that developers are no longer required to provide the specified number of parking stalls or pay in lieu fees for new buildings that are commercial, office, or mixed use within this area. This does not prevent developers from providing additional off-street parking if desired, and it does not affect existing parking or existing businesses. This change would be introduced to ensure that there is no loss of existing parking, as the waiving only applies to new commercial, office, or mixed-use buildings, provided existing parking is maintained. All existing parking regulations outside of the specified area would remain in place, and all other sections in Section 9 of the zoning bylaw regarding standards and ratios for bicycle, accessible parking, loading, and electrified parking requirements are still applicable within the specified area and outside. And this change follows SMART growth principles and aligns with the city goals of healthy communities and city core revitalization.
My name is Terry Salka. I live at 116 Rotherham Place. I've been a taxpayer of Prince Rupert since 1972. Just hearing what was read here, I have a query more than anything, unless more information comes out. Is this applicable to current buildings in a downtown core that would want to put residential apartments in the upper level? Would that apply to them as well, or does the current rule stay that if I have a building and I have retail downstairs and I want to put in apartments upstairs, that I'm going to have to provide parking space?
Dr. Buchan.
Thank you, Your Worship. This exemption in the area specified by the bylaw would apply to mixed use, which includes commercial or office on lower floors and residential above, as well as pure office or commercial developments. It does not apply to pure residential developments.
And for clarity, if I have an existing building and I'm renovating, would that?
Same exemption, yes, it applies.
So, so then you're going to have a double standard.
Tell me more.
Well, if I have a lot downtown and I want to put up a new building with commercial downstairs and residential upstairs, um, I won't have to provide parking, right? But if I have an existing building and I want to renovate the upstairs,
No, that you would be exempted from the bylaw.
I would have to put in parking or not?
No, you do not have to put in parking.
Okay.
The bylaw, sorry, the bylaw would give you an exemption for that renovation.
Okay. That's all I have for now.
Mr. Mayor, your microphone may be muted.
I don't think so. Maybe I just need to get closer to it. All right. So for a second time, is there anyone else that would like to come and address council? You need to hit your button on the phone there. There you go.
Oh, turn it on. My name is Joseph Marvici, and we have a business. Myself and my wife have a business at 336 3rd Avenue, and I'm not sure if this is the right time to bring it up, but the fact is we have a real problem with parking. That some people that work that work on this street will park on Third Avenue all day, and we have seniors that are sometimes they buy stuff and we have to load it out for them, and sometimes it's furniture, and it becomes a real problem with parking. We have to the only choice we have is to double park and lines up the traffic behind us so we can load stuff to go out. Or sometimes if they're bringing in donations, they have to go down a block or 2 blocks away and pack the stuff down. It's a real problem, and we'd like to see something done about it. Whether it be a loading zone put in or a limit on parking. So, I noticed at City Hall you have a half-hour limit, and just on the block it's like 2 hours. And some people park there all day. They just move their car up 3 feet, and they stay there all day, and right in front of the store too. So you really don't have any choice. But the parking has been a major problem with our business, having to inconvenience people, especially the seniors, because we get a lot of seniors that come in there, and we'd like to see something done about it. I've applied for a loading zone more than a year ago, and so far nothing has happened. And I talked to Barry Cunningham here, and he brought it up at the council meeting, and we were supposed to have somebody looking after it, but nobody's ever said anything to us about it. So I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. You're the guys in charge of it. Just want you to know this is a real problem with people parking that work on the street parking all day, and the bylaw officers once in a while they seem to give a few tickets, but most of the time it's people just park there all day, and in the like the Royal Bank or the Scotiabank and the real estate office and us, we're a half hour. Most people go in there are spending a half hour, so you have a half hour limit here. Want to move it down there too, and have a half hour limit on parking, and that way, well, at least we know people are going to move sometimes, and they're going to park there all day, you know. So anyway,
Yep.
That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. I was remiss in the last presentation, but does Councilor have any questions? But Councilor Cunningham.
But we're gonna be passing or doing this as a bylaw later on.
Yes, yeah, this is just the public hearing. Yeah. 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 Okay. Thank you.
Okay, well,
Thank
when
you
you pass
very
the
much.
bylaw, you consider that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay. So I'll call again. Anyone have something they want to present? Call for a second time. Well, we'll make an exception just for you. Come on back.
You know, when somebody's talking, other things come up, right?
Of course.
I'm not
So,
Are you still Terry Saka?
I'm still Terry Saka.
All
Terry
right.
Saka, 116 Rotherham. The question I have is if you're going to have these exemptions, how do you propose to facilitate the parking? I haven't heard anything so far. So if I have, I'll use the Lutz building, for example, the fitness center. Right now there's fitness stuff downstairs and upstairs. And if I want to renovate and put 3 apartments up there, that's, you know, say a family of 6. They're going to be exempt. I'm going to be exempt from providing parking, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now how do you facilitate that development by introducing 6 more units into the downtown core of 3rd Avenue? The gentleman behind me there brought up the issue of parking. Well, the other day I noticed that the city has changed the parking on 2nd Street between City West and the government building, because that's all that's in there, from 2 hours to 4 hours.
Correct.
So that has put more stress on the downtown parking. If you go downtown at 9 o'clock, you go there 11 o'clock, everybody's running around moving their cars around. And then again at 12 o'clock. So the question is, how do you propose to facilitate the exemptions to the rule? By, you know, because you are going to be introducing more traffic, stale traffic into the downtown core. And if I had a business downtown, how can I open my doors? How can I maintain traffic flow through my business when they can't park downtown? You know, the city had an opportunity to purchase some property on 2nd Avenue, but another group grabbed it, and that could have been easily a parkade where you charge people, not a ghost parkade, but where people park their cars and they'd have to buy a slip for 2 hours or 1 hour or day. So anyway, so that's my question.
Yep. Yep. And I'm not sure that there's an immediate answer, but Dr. Buchan, I don't know if you wanted to make any comment at all.
Your Worship, I think that the comments and questions are fair, and the question, I guess, really is: does Council want to have the discussion in the meeting where it considers the readings, and keep the
Right.
public hearing just to hear from the public?
Right. So before you step back from the microphone, are you in favor of this bylaw, or how would you feel about this particular bylaw?
Well, I could understand where you're putting in a new building, because then you can make, you know, you could create a design building where there could be parking at the back. For example, like the real estate building, when they put that building up, they have parking space in the back. But if you have an existing building, like most of the buildings on 3rd Avenue, where you don't have access to the back, where are those tenants gonna live? Park?
Yeah.
right downtown on the street. And the master plan has been for the last 10 years is to enhance downtown and create more livable space downtown. Well, when you create livable space downtown, most people have cars. So where are they going to park their cars? If I have a tailor shop, they're going to park in front of my tailor shop. How do my clients come into my tailor shop? Well, they can't. In fact, a few weeks ago, I had to go down to the credit union and sign some very important papers at the last minute. I drove around, getting close to closing time. I found half a parking spot, jumped in, ran inside, signed the papers, came out, and had a ticket at 3:45. So, there's no way, if I was to open a business downtown with the current rules that are in place, the 2-hour parking, now this 4-hour parking has materialized. Now you're talking about exemptions to the rule if people want to put apartments in. How am I going to operate? So when I'm going from that perspective, no, I'm not in favor of that. If you have land and you want to provide parking, that's fine. But there's a lot of places downtown, a lot of buildings downtown that are locked. They can't provide parking. And paying $1,500 for ghost parking, I don't think that's a solution to the problem.
Fair enough. Thank you. Councillor Cunningham.
Mr. Saka brings up a good point. Like we're going to be introducing more people into the downtown core, and they're going to be driving. And if they're workers, they're going to be doing what workers are doing now. And so, as much as I disagree with the $12,500 payment in lieu for taxes, I think this bylaw will encourage people to build within and densify the downtown, which we would like to do, but we haven't solved the parking problem with it. But yeah. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come back to that. If you had a question. Anyways, all right. With that, seeing that both of the attendees in the room have spoken, I'm actually going to call the meeting to a close and adjourn. I'll call for a motion, please, to adjourn the public hearing. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I think that just
you want me to read 3 times?
Yes,
I'll
just
do
call
it
for
3
a third time.
Because somebody might come running through those doors. It's possible. All right. I'll call for the first time. Are there any other people present who would like to come forward to speak? I call for a second time. Is there anyone that would come forward to speak? And for a third and final time, is there anyone that will come forward and speak? Hearing none and having satisfied the rules, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Moved Councillor Ady, Councillor Randawa. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.